Well, Kolu Kaleo Frabjous Day, YouTube. So now we see exactly what is going on in one way. Jihadism is not a big deal, of course, because, of our creation of ISIS during the Obama administration, with John McCain being a part of that operation. And now we all wipe our feet on his name. His name was Songbird John McCain. But now who's the baddest? Nick Fuentes is the baddest man in America right now. A young man, Catholic, unmarried, says words that make white women feel anger feeling. And so now everybody's going after him, so that means he's the champ. And now the FBI has gone after him in ways that are extrajudicial, just like everybody said, that all it would take is for anti-terrorism to become completely political and partisan, and Nick Fuentes is the example. And that means everyone has to say hail to Nick Fuentes, because that's where it's at. They are afraid of him. They're desperately afraid of him because he has nailed it. He's been too on the nose. He said it as it is, and he's mixed race. Let's just make it, because not enough people deal with this. He is definitively what's called on the cultural left mixed race, and that's what they fear. They fear us mixed race people, pointing out a lot of you white motherfuckers are bitches too, and a lot of you white liberals are racist pieces of shit. And especially the more left you get, the more unknowledgeable, wimpy, weird, and racist you are. And too many of us know it, because too many of us have kind of sat there quietly listening, and we've heard you say things. We've eaten at your table. We know what you think. You think that we can't get driver's licenses, or you think that we can't survive without Biden's welfare state. When overwhelming, and it was because there was too many black men who voted for Trump. They can't go after black men who talk wrong. They can't go after Kevin Samuels. They can't go after Minister Jap. They can't go after the Hoteps. Because you know what that will look like? That'll look like white women telling black people how to speak. Oh, the help is not saying what we like today. The help is stepping out of line. Well, Nick Fuentes has now shown it, that he is white in appearance, at a glance, but he's mixed. He's fundamentally mixed race. He's the exemplar of like the kind of people I grew up around in San Francisco Catholicism, kind of hard Catholics who just didn't want to have anything to do with degenerates, and then they went and he built a business, and that's the other thing that gets them. He built a business. He made it himself, and he made it because he was widely supported by his audience, and he does what he does well, and that's it. He's the real thing. People who want to take away from him, they could say what they want, doesn't matter. They aren't afraid of you. They aren't trying to ban you. They aren't trying to keep you off of flights. They don't have secret government programs to try to make sure you can't travel around. For him, he's being treated as if he was a dangerous jihadist or terrorist or something like that. He's being treated like he was Metzger. Like he's Metzger come out of the ground. Oh, I've come to bring glory to the white race. It's and he's just a guy who is a reactionary Catholic who is widely popular among his age group. And that's that. And so he's beaten them, and they know it. He whooped their ass, and they're mad, and they mad. And this is what they have to do. And so now, with the Biden administration saying that they have to do things about the power of the systemic racists, and that we have to get them with laws against jihadism. Even so as if the systemic racists, or maybe that's what it is, that Antifa and BLM are fundamentally racists, and so I mean they are completely race based and divisive in a racial fashion, and they have race politics as their focus. They're violent. They actually kill people. They organize openly. FBI can't do anything about them. But somehow though, Nick Fuentes, they could find him, they could find out what he's doing, and then they could say, oh, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to go there. You're not allowed to say things on that platform. And so it's this is that same rule. You have to look at the reaction. Morning. And looking at the reaction, Nick Fuentes is the most dangerous man in America right now, apparently. And people need to now. You need the wanted poster with Nick Fuentes. Wear it as a t-shirt. You need something we need logos and little things that are Groyper / Nick Fuentes logos. And people who they detract from this, and they're like, oh, he was hanging out with that weirdo and blah, blah, blah. Okay, think small. Think small. Think small. Hide. Be a good Catholic. Hide. Good American Catholics hide. That's what you do. You hide, or you go along with authority. And and as soon as you fought back, as soon as you fought for Sandman, what happened? Nicholas Sandman. As soon as you fought for him, they folded, and it was a huge win. And they paid out, and now nobody will talk about him. Matt Gaetz fought back. Where'd that story go about Matt Gaetz? Nowhere to be found. Can't find that story anymore. Suddenly he's not half as bad of a. Suddenly nobody has anything to say about him anymore. And so that's just how this is going to go. If you fight for him, you win, because you got to keep his name. And that's the thing, is you have to say his name. He can't be disappeared. Uh-oh, it's the garbage man. He can't be disappeared. And as long as you he's not going to be a martyr or anything like that. You just keep saying his name, because he scares them. He scares the crap out of them. And that's how you win. Remember, this was the rule with propaganda and during the Trump administration, is that they would try to bring something up and you just hammer them with it. You go, oh really? And you just keep smacking them with their fancy pants new weapon, and they think that they've weaponized Nick Fuentes, but no, they've lost, because they've had to say his name, and that's the other part. You say his name, ha ha ha, say his name, say his name, say his name, over and over again, and it's because they are scared of him. The ratio of police to citizens in Portland and Seattle is getting worse and worse by the day. More and more police are leaving. California is fundamentally not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to pull it off. It's going to take a miracle for California to come back. And it's mostly because nobody will actually do anything about the legislature. Getting Jenner or whatever as governor is just more GOP being Greco-Roman. But remember at one point Richard Spencer was a big deal, and it was kind of interesting how everybody wanted. There was all these kind of certain ends of media that seemed to be trying to make him a thing. But and nobody, if people were to see Nick Fuentes, if the average person who is even politically aware were to see a picture of him, they would have no idea who he is at all. You all know that's true. They wouldn't know who this guy is. They would see his name, Fuentes. The first thing that would go through their mind is, oh, he must be part Latino, or just like a very, very blanco, or wait, no, Rubio. Yeah, that's what it is, Rubio. Yes, not blanco, it's Rubio. Yeah, very Rubio, Latino, but he scares the shit out of everybody now. I mean, the government is literally terrified of this guy. And this is only the beginning for people who had just happened to be in Washington, D.C., and this is them trying this from the beginning. And the more his name is said, you just put it in. You just put it on Facebook, Nicholas J. Fuentes. You just post it to Twitter. Every so often, Nicholas J. Fuentes. Photos, every groyper should post pictures of Nicholas J. Fuentes with a crown on saying, "Fear the King." Or, clever memes that make it understood. Everybody knows, for some mysterious reason, all these political organizations and the leftists all are scared as shit because this guy says words, and his words are more dangerous than riots. His words are more dangerous than rioters who kill people and actually terrorize communities where people have to move from communities. They have to physically move. And the beauty of it is now this is time for reactionary Catholic groypers. You're starting to get to an age now that it is now your time. You have to take this by the horns, and you got to take the reins. The reactionary Catholics have to become a thing, well organized enough among one another, that when some priest says some stupid shit about social justice, no money is in that basket on Sunday. That's the only way they learn. You take away the money from the basket. They don't learn unless you do that. You receive the Eucharist and you leave. You just, that's it. That's the only way they learn. I was there when this happened, when they were paying people off so that they could have sex with their sons. The only way they learned was that people abandoned those parishes. People didn't pay those parishes, and eventually the Catholic Church had to sell shit. They've had to sell their things, and that's it. That's the way you win. Is you if it takes a parish having to merge with another parish, and then 40 years down the line it all comes back into fruition because you drummed out the parasites and the deviants and the perverts from and the weaklings and the people who are weak and don't understand their duty. Now you get it. Now it's absolutely clear that a stance based out of solid reason and out of solid thinking when it comes to the Catholic theology as applied to the social realm. That's Nick Fuentes, and that if you are Catholic, you now have to decide. The government has said you are on a list. They have said you're on a list. If you've had anything to do with the groypers, if you've been in their chat, if you've given any of them money, if you repost their shit, are you on a list now? So, and it's a matter of, it's wonderful when the opponent makes you have to. When they don't give you an option. They give you as few options as possible. Now you have to fight, and you don't have a choice. And it is. Hail Nick Fuentes. Say his name all over Twitter, and watch. I'm gonna hashtag, and I'm gonna post. I'm gonna say his name. His name is Nick Fuentes, and he's a brother in Christ, and he's a countryman. And so stand up, because nobody else matters. All the other grift, none of them matter. Nobody's talking about any of the other. And remember, there's all this stuff that suddenly nobody remembers. Nobody remembers National Policy Institute. Where is Mike Enoch? Nobody remembers. What are they going to? Nope. Now we stand up for Nick because they are terrified of him.